The function notation problems have many different types of looks. That's why we have an A, B, C, and D here. One of the looks that you'll have on this problem is compositions. A here is a composition, and when you're doing your compositions, you always start from the middle or the inside and work your way out. So to start this particular problem, you just need to figure out what is g of -1. Think of it as just this problem only. So this just means stick -1 into the g function, which is located here. So -1 will be placed in for that x. -1 to the 4th power is +1. +1 times 7 is 7. 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the answer to that part is 3. Now imagine g of -1, which is 3, gets replaced with 3. You're left with this statement, j of h of 3. And then you start the process all over again. Starting from the inside, working your way out, h of 3 is what you must solve for. First, plugging 3 into h, here's our h function. We plug 3 right there. 5 minus 21 is -16. The square root of -16 is 4i. So that part of the equation is 4i. Now we're left with j of 4i. Here's j. We plug in 4i right there. If we wrote that out, it would look like that. We do the squared first. So 4i times 4i is 16i squared. And 16i squared is 16 times -1. So this is -16. -16 times 4 is -64. -64 minus the 7 is -71. And that's a composition. B here, this -1 reflects an inverse. Inverse of an equation is simple by just 2 steps. Switching x and y. So this is the y and here's the x. If you switch places, you would have this equation. And after you switch x and y, solve for the y. So this 5 and 1 and 4 and the cube root all need to be moved to the other side to isolate the y. First thing we're going to move is the 5 by multiplying both sides by 5. Then we would add the 1. Then we get rid of the cube root by cubing both sides. Got to use parentheses at this point. You don't need to cube it. You can leave it like that. And now the 4 is all that would be left and needed to get rid of, so dividing both sides by 4. So there is our inverse. If this was just a plain x, we would be done. This is asking us to stick -1 into the inverse. So we have to stick -1 right there for that x and find the solution to that. That would be -5 plus 1 is -4. -4 cubed is -64. -64 divided by 4 is -16. C is asking us to set j equal to 57. If we go to j and we set it equal to 57, we get a statement that hopefully doesn't look too intimidating. But this particular problem is here for one reason. Using some algebra to get the x by itself, I get to here. At this point, I square root both sides, but here is why this problem is on your test, right there. I'm looking to see if you remember that, plus or minus. So if it seems easy, it's there for the plus or minus. Don't forget that. This is setting us up for derivatives. So this says to stick x plus h in for all the x's of j. I'm going to write that out. Oh, wrote a j instead of an x, sorry. X plus h squared minus 7. So that is just this part here. Here's my minus, and now j of x is simply the original equation. And I need to use parentheses because of that x, which looks like that. Multiply this out. That's the first part of our special instructions. So x plus h squared, I'll go ahead and write out x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. There's the minus 7. I'll go ahead and distribute that negative. I'm going to get rid of those parentheses, distributing this 4. So that's the multiply part. Now I'm going to combine like terms. And you'll notice that the 4x squareds cancel, which I didn't need to write, so I should have just started with the 8xh plus 4h squared, and these 7's go away. So after I combine like terms, I'm to here. This is asking me to factor, so if there's anything we can pull out of those two items, we need to do so now. They both have a 4 in common. They both have an h in common, which would leave behind 2x plus h. And then stop. Okay. I'm going to throw up a problem now for you to do. After I throw it up here and get it focused, you need to press pause. Okay. At this time, copy this problem down, press pause. When you have it done, I will have the solution for you. Press pause now. Here is the solution to problem number 2. I've changed the order on you a little bit. Here's the composition. Here's the problem where you end up with the plus or minus. The inverse has been switched down here to C. I'll slide this up here for you to check. Alright, got that? I'm sliding. And there is C and D for problem number 2. If you need more time, press pause. I'm going to put problem number 3 up here now for you to copy. It's a long problem to copy, so you're going to need to take your time. At this point, you're going to want to press pause, complete this problem, and check it here in a little bit. Press pause now. Okay, here's the solution to problem number 3. There's A and B. And here is C and D.